Hey, what's good, you boys? It's your boy Gilly, back with another video, and in this one it's going to be the second part of the Levers series. Now, I'm sorry guys, I know it's been a week since I've last uploaded, and that's simply because I made this video on the Wednesday and I look over and it was corrupted after about 20 minutes of sitting here talking, and I sat there after and just thought to myself, I'm not doing that again. I'll do it on Friday. And then Friday rolled around and some personal shit came up, and then I was going to upload on Saturday and there was still some more personal shit. But you know, that's blown over now. We're back, we're ready to grind. I feel refreshed as well. I think I definitely needed a few days off because, you know, we were grinding those past like 4 or 5 weeks. But nevertheless, here to show you guys the next part of this series. So the difference with this one's going to be is that we have some actual photo evidence of the stuff going on, and so you can put some faces to the people in the stories. So what you're looking at right now is all the boys that we stayed with, and I'm going to go from front to all the way to the back. So at the front we have Rook, and then the long hair, people say looks like Jesus. That is Albert from a lot of the other stories. You guys probably know him. And then we've got Bell next to him, Walkman in the middle with the peace sign up. He was from the video yesterday. He was in that one. And then there's me. I don't know what my hair was doing. This was taken on one of the last days, so we all look close to death. It's how it is. Then we've got Barry behind me. Now this fella is an absolute tank. So this guy's routine, I'd say he woke up about 6:30. He'd sit out where we are in this photo and have a coffee. And then when 10:30 rolled around, he would smash Jaeger bombs all the way up until we went to the zone. And just before we go to the zone, he'd hit the pub and smash beers with the tradies. I shit you not. He is an absolute tank, and he didn't yak the whole time. Most of the people in this house yacked, but he wasn't one of them. Then we've got Seti in between me and Walkman. This is my boy. Me and him went to the raves every single night. And then on the other side of him, we've got Spade. Now Spade came up a little bit later and just chilled with us. So he isn't really in the stories too much. This was, I think, the first day he came up when this photo was taken. And then the bloke with the shades on, he came up even later, so he isn't really in any of the stories. But you know, that's pretty much everyone in the house you need to know of. There were a few others wandering around that came up a bit later as well and camped in the back, but these are like the main people in the story. Try to keep in your head like who is who. We're going to continue on from where we left off. Last thing I said in the story was we woke up that next day to Seti saying, what were you doing outside? Because, you know, I slept outside. And also, yeah, if you haven't seen the last video, definitely check that one out before this one. I have a little card for it because this one will make a lot more sense. Anyway, woke up in the morning with the black shit all over me because I slept outside. If you watched it, you know what happened there. So yeah, came inside, and then this is the first day of the raves, keep in mind. We're hyped as fuck, but we all know we have to get something into our stomachs because, you know, we went out the night before. So we're thinking, what's the best thing? We had options of KFC, Macca's, Red Rooster, Hungry Jack's, and Subway, all next to us. So out of Bustleton, I kept saying Dunsborough in the last video, but I meant Bustleton. I was going to put subtitles in, but I forgot to. Yeah, so Bustleton, we were just outside the main area, so we had options of everything. We had it luxury. So we picked, I know some of you would say, why don't you do KFC, why don't you do Macca's, that sort of thing. We actually picked Subway. Just think about this, right? At least for me, when I eat Subway, my stomach absolutely turns, and, you know, I'm on the toilet at least some point of the day, shitting it all back out. It's just how it is. We're all sharing one toilet. You know, we have to jump around at nighttime. We need to really eat clean as best we can. So we picked Subway. Not that I picked a very clean meal. I get the meatball sub, so probably just as bad for you as KFC. But, you know, KFC is obviously the best option. All the Aussies know. Hands down. If you disagree, drop in the comments what your favorite fast food is. So yeah, then we get back, and keep in mind, Harry didn't come with us. So when we get back, it was probably about 10, and he's already smashing Jaeger bombs back at 10 in the morning. We get back, and since this is the second day, we had some people coming in from campsites. Walkman and his other mate, they were camping and they didn't like it, so they walked from their campsite and stayed in the back of our like little outdoor area. And then there was 2 others that got kicked out of their campsite because they weren't 18 and they booked it under someone that was 18 that wasn't really 18, and they found out, I don't know how, and then they got told to move on. So they had nowhere to stay, so we let them stay with us. So at this point, we probably have about 12 people staying with us. It's an absolute party. We're just chilling out the back, getting hyped for tonight because, you know, it is the first night of the raves. Just slowly starting to drink. You know, I'm sinking a cruiser or 2 back, you know, hardcore shit, I know. We're just having a good time. And then I'd say about 3:30 rolls around and time is just going by so slow. You know, we just want to get to the rave, and we say to this group chat, I think, or like someone messaged someone, and we got the rest of our people staying near us just to come over, and we were just going to have prees and just drink as much alcohol as we could and have our own little party to get ready to get on the bus. So I'd say about 4 o'clock, there was probably about 15, 20 people at our house just playing beer pong. You know, the usual teenager shit. Nothing too special there. So at this point, everyone's getting smashed as fuck. You know, since I was gonna get on the caps tonight, you know, drug addict me, I wasn't drinking too hard. I know my limits. I don't like to mix alcohol and caps, because you'll find out eventually in this story, the people you see in the zone that are on both, it's just a horrible sight. 5:30 rolls around and we're telling each other we're getting on that first bus. We need to get to the bus stop. And now the bus stop was probably about a 5-minute walk, really close. We peeled out of the house, locked everything up, and headed down to the bus stop. Now when we got there, the line was already packed. We thought we were going to be the first ones there, but nope, there was probably about 50 people already in front of us. And you know, you're seeing people from all over that you haven't seen in a long time. It's pretty weird. You wouldn't think you'd see them there, but they're just there. It's kind of hard to explain. So we're sitting there. I don't smoke cigarettes, but back then I bought a pouch for going down south. Now the zone is a smoke-free zone, so no matter like who you know, you cannot bring them in unless you smuggle them in, of course. And you know, sneaky me, half the people at my place were gonna sneak some in. So the way I did it was I had a gum packet, and I would put like pieces of gum on top, and then I would slide some cigarettes underneath it. And then, so when they like, if they even checked in there, which they never did, they would just look at the gum and see nothing in there and just let me walk in. So that's how I did that. That's what I was sorting out when I was waiting in the line. Yeah, everyone was just getting hyped up, finally ready to jump on the bus. So the bus finally comes. Now, I've heard from people that they're not too strict on checking wristbands, but this year they were strict as they thoroughly stared at your wristband, not only in the line, but once you got on the bus, the guy there would also look at it. So, you know, we're walking on the bus and it is packed. We were one of the last ones on, so we were standing up in the aisle. Now, me, Walkman, and Seti were dropping caps this night. Once again, the trio. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention, Albert did not make it this night because he got too drunk. Well, not even too drunk. He was drinking a decent amount. He's not really a drinker. And he had too many darts and he started to feel sick and he just kept getting head spins and then just went to bed and fell asleep. So he missed out on this first night. That was the first man down, just to put that one in there. Anyway, we're on the bus and the trio, we drop our caps. Now this was Seti's first time dropping. Keep this in mind. And you know, I say this every time. When it's your first time dropping, it's some wild shit. I don't need to get too much into that. Anyway, I reckon it's about a 20-minute drive there. It is a long drive and it's a boring one too. But you know, everyone's just hyped up to get to the first night of rave. So everyone is just off their face, just either drunk or capping and just screaming like tits out for the boys and just random chants, you know, the usual shit. You know, it was going off. People are punching the roof. I'm punching the roof. There was this weird mesh shit on the roof and everyone standing up was just laying into this poor roof, you know. I don't know how these buses made it through the whole week, but people were spewing on them. You know, the whole 9 yards was happening on these buses. There were these chicks next to me. I don't know what their go was, but it was once again their first time dropping caps. And I think they dropped them before they started walking, because when I was on the bus, they started off being normal, like just talking to me, just saying random shit. The usual like cap talk when chicks are on caps, you know, they're fucking annoying. You guys all know what I'm talking about. And then one of them just starts to cry, like really, it was strange as, like weird vibes. So she started to cry and I'm thinking, what is this chick on? Why is she like crying? And I found out that she was peeking really hard. And I've never seen that side effect to peaking, but you know, each their own. These chicks were little, like tiny. I reckon they were underage, to be honest. I don't think they were leavers. It was their first time dropping nonetheless. And she was trying to like comfort this chick while she was like crying and like rocking back and forth. Honestly, who knows what she had in her cap? Might have been meth, might have been a shit ton of speed. Who knows? Put that to the side, we finally rock up. You know, she gets up and then she's fine. So, you know, she didn't die. Don't worry, guys. And I seen her like throughout each night as well. So she did keep going back for more. Anyway, we jump off the bus. Now the first sight you see when you get off the bus is like this field, and in this field there was already people face down, like dead to the world. They did not make it into the first night. Paramedics everywhere. You know, it's quite a weird sight, but everyone has just gone way too hard. Some people don't know their limits, Anyway, put that to the side. We walk in, and the way the entrance works is you kind of walk in through this like zigzag gate thing, and there's these people called the green team on each little end, and you're kind of sprinting down and you're high-fiving them. It's good vibes. You know, at this point I'm starting to come up a little bit because that bus ride is probably 30 minutes, so I'm starting to feel like a goose. So I'm like hitting these people's hands, running in. You know, life is good. The whole team that was with me, you know, we're all running in, and you get to the end. And at the end of the little tunnel bit is like a bag search. But the tactic is you have to look for the line going the quickest, because you know he's not doing his job right and he's just letting people in. So I sat back for a bit, observed, and I realized the guy on the far left was doing fuck all, just patting you down a little bit. So even though I had nothing on me, I felt like I just wanted to get in there, and I know I had the cigarettes on me. Oh yeah, I had my fanny pack like around my waist. It was kind of weird, and you know, it worked every night. He patted me down, let me straight in, and then the next step is a bag search, and I did not get my bag searched one of the nights. I just walked straight past that. No one questioned it. Once we're in the zone, everyone instantly just loses each other. You know, it went from probably about 20 people to about 5 in the matter of 5 minutes. You know, everyone sees someone, runs off to them. You know, the group just gets split up. We just kind of walking around looking at, you know, our options on what we can go on. You know, you got your rides, and then you've got your silent discos and your raves, like the ones with the speakers out loud. So we decided we wanted to try a silent disco because none of us had actually ever done that before. So we walk over to the silent disco, and the line, because we got here kind of early, it was pretty short, but usually the line for the silent disco, you better just forget about it because it's always about half an hour because they only have a limited number of headsets. So we get in there, and I'm in there for probably about 5 minutes. And my headset keeps cutting out because you had to be held close to the stage to actually be able to hear the music. And it kept cutting out because we were far away. So I was like, fuck this. And me and Seti just dipped and walked out. Now, we were probably in there, 5 minutes. And we've probably been at the zone for about 20 minutes all up. And we walk out and we look to our left. And there was like this weird little tower thing. And on top of it was a green team leader. It had like a little bit of an overhang. And there was just 2 people under there. And the chick was just getting absolutely finger blasted. And if this just puts in mind like what goes down at Levers, I mean, there is a time and a place for all that shit, but come on, this was in broad daylight, and there was a like legit green team leader standing on top of them. It's kind of hard to explain like how the little layout was, but you know, that's really what it was. And I seen that and I'm like, hell no, I'm out of this place. So me and Seti walked over to the rave tent now. And I've just found a video on the actual rave tent. So as you can see here, I've just paused on Walkman, and I'll rate his jaw swing a good 9 out of 10. Look at the absolute axis on that bad boy. And as you can see here, it's me with the sunnies on an absolute mission. So as you can see, it's kind of bright, like there's lights everywhere. So just to give you a better idea on it, this is what it looked like. Remember, it's Seti's time first dropping caps. So we walk in, and he is absolutely geeking. I remember just vibing to myself and looking over and just seeing him just fist pumping, going so hard. After 15 minutes of being in there, a little circle started to form. You know how at rave concerts, you know, you have like the mosh pit, and then when there's a drop coming, everyone kind of makes a circle. Yeah, everyone was doing this. However, when we got to the edge of the circle, me and Seti noticed there's one bloke in the middle, and this bloke in the middle had no shirt on. Let me just tell you right now, this bloke definitely wasn't on caps, or if he was probably on upwards of 8. Like, when I say this guy looked cracked out, he was legit almost foaming at the mouth, like gurning so hard, and his eyes were completely rolled back, and everyone's just pushing this bloke around as the drop came, and he was just foaming, like falling over, getting back up, jumping around. Like, it was the strangest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. Say he was a crackhead, but his build was like this absolutely ripped Asian. Like, he was definitely on the steroids or something, or some substance that got him absolutely ripped, but he was in like jeans and no shirt, while everyone else was like dressed normally. I don't know how this bloke got into the rave tent, but he looked probably about 30. You know, we stayed in this tent for probably about 5 hours, just geeking out of our minds. Just, if you have never experienced MDMA at like a proper setting, not, you know, not just in your room, not just in a car, like proper speakers, proper lights, like it's a whole new experience. Like, once I'd experienced this, I was like, I'm never doing caps in a normal setting again. You know, that fell through, obviously, but just keep that in mind. It is just worlds better. So stop doing it at gathers, please. You know, the night goes by, we're just kicking on, just me and Freddie. You know, people came and went, You know, most of the house went, actually all the house went home before us. We were literally the last people in the tent. Freddie was still geeking about 4 hours after, you know, I started to come down a little bit. We hopped back on the bus and cruised home. Now, when we got home, everyone was kicking on out the back, just smoking billies, the usual shit. But me and Seti don't smoke billies, so we just kind of sat there and then, by a miracle, passed out. And yeah, that is where I'm going to leave it for day 2. Day 3, I'm not going to spoil anything, but if you're not subbed, make sure you drop in a sub with them noties on. We're going to be back for another video on Wednesday for day 3. We're going to keep these ones pumping out. I'm not going to abandon it like I did last week. You know, shit comes up in life that I can't really control. But, you know, we're back on the grind, and also, I've been motivated to bring some more Fortnite content back, but I'm going to wait for the new season. I'll leave you guys at that. Make sure you drop in a like, drop in a sub. And yeah, guys, see you guys next one. DJ, run that tune.
It's Moscow B, where the Russians be. I'll pull up bang and he ski. Deep, girl, she on me. Check the scoreboard, we on fleet. There's a Harlem flow when I read. Bro, pull out the ting, let's Moscow march and then lean. Unruly. See the up boys said they on me. I talk like Ken's, tell the up come do me. Like, I got full clip for that movie. I'm trying to do me up one juvie. Who's that, what's that, zone 2 boy? Now the Rambo's looking all saucy.